The Seattle Seahawks have made their first signing of this offseason, and it's a re-signing at that, as they have chosen to retain Jarran Reed on a 3-year, $25 million contract. Jarran Reed was, of course, originally a second-round pick by your Seattle Seahawks out of Alabama, and this is currently his second tour of duty with the team. But over these past couple of years, he's been a very effective player for your Seahawks, albeit he is getting a little bit older. But even when you look at last year and how he was rated by PFF and setting career highs and pressures, being very effective in that more of a rotational-like role, he was graded just behind the likes of a Jalen Carter, Vita Vea, Jordan Davis, some very good defensive tackles in this league. So this contract is well earned, at least on the surface of things. It's not going to be, I think, as much as it might look as far as sticker shock on first view, is that these are the numbers that are always released initially by the agent. They're always going to be pushed up a little bit. They're not going to take into account the fact that probably the team can get out from under this deal after the first year or two and not have to eat a lot of dead money. On top of it, it's probably also going to be a little bit of a backloaded deal in addition to that. The one issue I have really with this deal is not about the value of Jarran Reed or not whether or not he is a good player or can be effective as a backup to Leonard Williams. The issue comes really more down to Byron Murphy. Byron Murphy selected in the first round last year, and you were forced to push him out there at the nose tackle role to take on the double teams time and time again throughout this season for two different separate reasons. Number one, you didn't have any really good nose tackles on the roster, and so it was kind of forced by necessity. And then number two, you felt so good about how Jarran Reed was playing behind Leonard Williams and how good Leonard Williams was playing, giving you almost a defensive player of the year-like year from the 3-tech position, that there just weren't a lot of snaps then there for Byron Murphy to be able to go do anything with. So he gets stuck over there at the nose tackle position, and now once you re-sign Jarran Reed, it would appear that Byron Murphy is going to spend the foreseeable future in nose tackle hell. I hope not, because you didn't go out there and want to take a first-round defensive tackle so that you could just go turn him into a league average nose tackle. That's not really the best utilization of a first-round pick, and certainly not the best utilization of the talents that Byron Murphy offers to you on the football field. So it's a little bit of a head-scratcher on this one because it does affect that. But as far as how Jarran Reed is a player, as far as the impact that he's brought to the field over the past couple of years, he has been really good and a good all-around player at that. And let's add one little extra cherry on top of that. It's the leadership. We know this guy is a strong voice in the locker room. Byron Murphy has mentioned him really taking him under his wing and showing him the ropes. We had that moment last year in the Buffalo Bills game where Derek Hall had that just kind of brain-dead moment where he hit Josh Allen late. It was pretty obviously so. It was a close game. You couldn't afford that kind of mistake. And showing you the leader he was, Jarran Reed got right up in Derek Hall's face to let him know that that was not acceptable. It got hot. It got a little intense. But this is what you want your leaders to do. So I don't think that there's any doubt about this defense going forward between having guys like Uchenna Nwosu still on the roster, Leonard Williams, and Jarran Reed. Say nothing of having maybe an Ernest Jones back in the mix. You will certainly have the leadership in place for this defense to continue to take those steps forward. Say nothing of just having it in the locker room as in general. Good to have these strong voices in that way. We'll just have to see how the rest of these moves play out. But your Seattle Seahawks have reinforced their defensive line, which will look like, at least on the surface of it, as long as you can maybe eventually take care of the nose tackle position, one of the stronger ones in football, potentially. My name is Brandon Kane. This is the Hawks Nest. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. But beyond all that, don't you ever forget, go Hawks.